Hello everyone, hope all is well. So I just wanted to talk about this. Now, as you know, I made a video back maybe a month or two ago. And this is when the €3 customs charge came in basically from packages from England, even from England, from the United States, from Canada, from basically Africa, Asia, etc. Particularly from China. This was to stop cheap labour goods from China coming in and flooding the European market. And basically this is about looking after Irish jobs, European jobs, keeping them here, getting people into work, etc., investing in European jobs instead of sending them off to communist China. Like, why would we do such a thing? But long story short, the government and the European Union are considering a €5, so basically an extra €2 charge from November. This is an additional customs charge, basically. So, of course, them raking in the money, the €3, I bet you if we looked at it, it could be 3-4 billion just from July, like in terms of goods coming into the European market, etc. The people have paid €3. You wouldn't take it if a lot of people are buying goods, etc. You could, especially all across Europe, every country in Europe, you could be looking at 3 billion just in them few months. Think about it. So, of course, the European Union wants to be greedy and take more money off its citizens. And of course, I welcome the €3 customs charge, but I do think they're having a laugh if they think they're going to bring it up anymore, because I do think it's unfair to bring it up to €5. And I do think we should try and exclude the United Kingdom and the United States and Canada. I do think we should talk about that, having some kind of a deal on that. Whatever about the rest of the world, I don't mind that so much, but I do think the United Kingdom, we probably should look about not excluding them from that. And the same goes for the United States and Canada. I do think we should support democracy and democratic Western countries. I do think we should do that, and I do think it's something we should look at, particularly them three countries. Whatever the rest of the world we shouldn't change, especially for China. But I don't know. As I say, I'm conflicted on this, to be told, because the European Union clearly wants more money. Now, of course, they're giving huge amount of money to Ukraine, etc., so they don't have any money for themselves, basically, at this stage. What I'm trying to say is, too, I do think the €3 is fair enough. I did putting it up by €2 to €5. It's a bit unreasonable, and especially because now next year they'll come along and say, "Oh yeah, we're going to put it up to €10." Because this will be the same every year. It's going to be an endless tax hole that people have to fill every year, and it's just insane. But as I say, I don't know. As I say, I don't mind the treating. I always was in favour of some kind of charge, particularly when it comes from China. Now, if they said it's just particularly for China and from countries in Asia, etc., that are using child labour, etc., and violating people's, particularly child labour laws, etc., I wouldn't mind if you paid €100 for every goods that came from China. But of course, they will not do that. They should do that. If there were any good, they would do that, the European Union, especially when they're all about climate, etc. But they should do that. But what about maybe Australia and Canada and the United Kingdom? I don't know. Should we do that? But whatever about the rest of the world, I do, as I say, we should always shop local. We should always try and shop local in our local towns, our local villages, and our communities. And of course, shop in the European Union. Of course, what I mean by that is support European jobs, support employment in European countries and our neighbours. To the best of our abilities. Now, not everything can be bought in Europe, of course, but to the best of our abilities. But as I say, I do think €5 is a bit steep, to be totally honest, especially because it's only July and they're already coming along now in November. Like, it's barely 5 minutes in, and they've probably raked in money. As I say, it could be 5-6 billion already. And then if they add this on top of it, they could be getting by the end of the year €10 billion out of it. Like, it'd be an insane amount of money. And then next year it could be 30 billion they could make of this alone. And again, the sad thing about that is the European Union won't give it back to the European population. It'll be given to Ukraine probably, but it won't go to the only European consumer. What I mean by that, it won't go to the looking after them, the elderly person in the nursing home, the person in the hospital trolley in Ireland. It won't go to build a few social houses. It'll go to Ukraine probably, most likely. Not likely to go to any good in Ireland, basically what I'm trying to say, or any good in, say, for example, in Finland or in Sweden even. It won't go any good to them, because it won't go to them. But maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so. But as I say, I do think the €5 is a bit steep. Whatever about the €3, I'm still in favour of keeping that, but I do think we should look at Canada, the United States and the United Kingdom. Even if it was only a €1 charge from there. But I do think it's unreasonable that we're charging our friends, I suppose, in terms of that. I don't mind so much. As I say, I don't care about China or places, say for example in Asia or Africa, etc., shouldn't be probably doing business with them to the less extent. Whatever with Australia and New Zealand, etc., maybe we could look at that, but I'm not sure about that one. But yeah, let me know what you think. A lot of people are not happy with this, and rightly so, because it's very soon. It's only July, and now they're talking about November already. And this is going to stop people buying online, which is a good thing too, because people be using cash in shops, etc., the local shops, which is a good thing too. Maybe it's the blessing of the skies, but we see what happens. But anyway, let me know what you think. Subscribe for more, and bye.